Not much to add on kind of my post-game comments from last night. Not up to our standard in any way, shape, or form across really our entire football team. Although there was some bright spots in the kicking game and some guys trying to make some plays to help us, try to get back in the football games at times, just collectively not enough across the board. And as I mentioned last night, always will start with me as the coach and leader of this team. And that's what we'll go through the process of doing here in an opportunity this week in the NFC North, going on the road against the division champions. Just played this team. We know them well. Recent game against them, and we'll try to put together the best possible week of prep we can, and go up there and play a heck of a game. So. Want to update you guys on Ed Ingram. I know after the game, just mentioned that he was lost due to a shoulder injury and unable to return. He's since been evaluated and looks to be something that we avoided anything major on with Ed, but he will be questionable throughout the week, and we'll see what kind of workload he can have as we go through our preparation for the week. Mekhi Blackman and Jordan Addison, two guys that were able to make it despite being limited all week, were able to make it through without anything really significantly setting them back. Proud of those two young guys for battling, really showing some toughness there. And we'll kind of have both those guys questionable throughout the week and hopefully have them both available as well. And some of the guys that were out last week, more than likely, will kind of be in that questionable world and see how they turn over for the week. I have made a decision on who's going to start at quarterback for us this week. I have, not had a chance yet with the players being off today to go through, our face-to-face communication to let those players know. So I'm not going to announce that today, but we will keep you guys posted and get you that information here very, very shortly in the week, just so we can go through our preparation and go about trying to get a win here in Week 18 with everybody having the clarity that they need.
We'll start with Alec, Dave, and then Kevin.
Yeah, hey, Kevin. Just going back through last night, just what was your evaluation of the offensive line and what did you see from their performance?
Yeah, I thought, we were inconsistent. There were some times we were trying to give Jaren, some 6 or 7, 8-man protection, play passes to try to push the ball downfield, which we took some losses on with, just a lack of execution inside. And then, there were some times in the drop back phase, whether it be on third down, third and longer, or in the 2-minute where we had some chances at some chunks, Justin kind of down the middle of a split safety zone defense where we took a strip sack fumble where, our best player along the offensive line is Christian Darrisaw, and we got beat on the play. And I think Christian knows that how we feel about him. We know the confidence that we have in him, and Preston just got him on a move there, and we gave up a play. So that's going to happen from time to time. The critical factor in that is just understanding, was it technique, was it scheme, and if it is technique, how do we go about improving and just trying to strive for as much consistency across the board with the other 10 players in that huddle doing their jobs, execution, detail, all the things that we need to have at this point in the year to try to overcome, some of the things we've had to try to overcome, and just didn't have that across the board around the quarterback, in addition to some inconsistencies there, clearly as well.
And with the playoff chances being as slim as they are after last week or after yesterday, does that play in at all to any of your starting lineup decisions or injury availabilities for Sunday?
Yeah, I think that'll be kind of determined throughout the week based upon, how our guys are able to, kind of work through some of the injuries we do have. But for the sake of going out, and we still do have albeit, a small chance. We still do have a chance at the postseason, but I think more importantly for our team, it's, getting that bad taste out of our mouth of a performance that we're certainly not proud of and is not to our expectation or our standards. So I imagine our guys will be ready to come back in and get to work this week and see if we can put together, a good game plan, have some good preparation, and have it translate to what we do on the field on Sunday in Detroit.
Kevin, on Jaren Hall, how much from what you saw yesterday and during practice last week has given you any sense beyond what you already had about the extent to which he might be able to help you down the line, future years, whatever? I know you're locked in on this week and all that, but
Yeah.
Just from a broader sense, like to what extent were you able to glean anything that would give you clues about his potential for the future?
Yeah, I think that's what tends to show up sometimes, with a rookie and in a moment like that, because I think Jaren will be the first one to tell you that there were some things in the game where, during his preparation, during the practice reps, he probably handled some things a little bit cleaner, a little bit better as far as having his eyes in the right spot, knowing where his first progressions were. We tried to keep things, as especially early on in the game, we wanted to try to keep things pretty standard for him, try to get some people open with some, chances at some yards after the catch, try to get the ball out of his hands. And, the execution just wasn't there. And what we've got to go do for the sake of Jaren's development, Kevin, is really pour into him and make sure he knows this is not by any means, a period on the end of, what we think of Jaren Hall. And this was an opportunity for him. For the decision was made to go with Jaren for a lot of reasons, one of which was we were excited about what Jaren's potential is, and we wanted to give him an opportunity. We had dealt with some turnovers at the quarterback position, and Jaren was healthy and could have a full week of preparation and had some good weeks of preparation leading in. And just didn't translate to our offense having the kind of success we needed to have in a game where they were able to, have some success, move the ball and score points. We were going to need to, try to combat that with doing the same, and we did not do that. So we'll take a look at it and make sure Jaren knows, the areas where he needs to improve. During this week, during his, off season, during the, his path to getting to where he's going to become the player that we know he can become. And I think we use this, if we use this experience for whatever it was, use it as a positive to, hopefully spurt some growth moving forward for Jaren. That would be the goal. And, my expectation is knowing the type of person and player and commitment to, continuing to grow and become the player he's going to become. That's my expectation, is that's what's going to happen with the help of our coaching staff, the help of the guys around him in the huddle, and, obviously Jaren's work ethic that he has.
Dane, Ben, and Matthew.
Hey, Kevin, when you kind of zoom out, sorry. Hey, Kevin, when you said it starts with you, and you said it a couple times last night too. When you kind of zoom out and look at the past month and a half, is there anything specific you think you could have done to help Josh or Nick or Jaren have more success?
Yeah, I think, anytime you, don't have the results that you want, I think it's very important to always go back and, line by line, look at, what we've tried to do offensively, what the negative plays were, how they came about, what was the intent of plays, where was the tough down as far as the role and responsibilities to, make the play go. Sometimes it's at the receiver position, understanding how we're trying to attack coverage, still have Justin be a major part of what we want to do, but at the same time, allow other guys to win, within the rhythm and timing of the quarterback. And other times it's protection based and making sure that we're helping out in any way, shape, or form we can, being great with our communication, not having any self-inflicted kind of errors that we can control by how we execute, not just about having to block some really talented rushers, but just schematically and our players' understanding of that. And then how are we running the football? Are we able to, try to run the football enough in games to sustain success? I think we saw a little bit of that in Cincinnati, going back to that game where we were able to kind of, be in some third and shorters, use the run to convert, use the threat of some runs in those shorter down and distances to maybe, have some play pass, some quarterback movement type plays that alleviate some of the stress there. And then across the board, some of the negatives, the pre-snap infractions, the penalties that set you behind the sticks, some of the early down sacks behind some max protection play action or play action looks where you should be able to account for some things and try to develop some things down the field. All of which we've got to look at and really categorize, intent and play call and where we could be better and I could be better there as far as when I call things and what we're trying to get done. The execution from our players, did we give them all the tools and the clarity that they needed to execute in that moment? And then the technique and fundamentals of how to get their jobs done consistently and be effective. So, when you look at some of the turnovers, when you look at some of the negative plays, our job as coaches and my job specifically is to go back and make sure that we figure out the why and then try to put together a clear-cut path to eliminate those things when we can, and then teach our players, how to overcome and survive the down and try to possess the football throughout. So I think we've been able to move the football. Most of the time consistently. We've had some spurts where we haven't, and we've had to take a long look at that. And then when the turnovers have really impacted our entire team, really throughout the whole season, whether it be putting the ball on the ground early on in the year or the interceptions as the year kind of went on, as we've kind of worked through the different options that we have at the quarterback position. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it's very important that is a accurate statement. That is not coach speak. That is what I intend to do. It's what I intend to do every single week, and that is always my process moving forward so that we could do our jobs as coaches for the player in each and every spot in our offense to give them an opportunity to have success.
Kevin, I think you talked a little bit last night about how you feel like the culture is going to be tested either in this week or just kind of in general. In what ways do you feel like this moment or this game is going to do that to test the culture, and what areas does that show up?
Yeah, I think, Ben, it's just coming off of a performance where our guys wanted to go out and play well. Our team wanted to compete and get that win. For a lot of reasons. Obviously, the playoff implications, division opponent at home, knowing that we were going to have a great home crowd again, that, with all kinds of energy there and excitement. Coming off of the disappointment of that, I think that's when, you truly are tested. You truly are tested in the moments like this of no matter what the circumstances are, do we have the type of culture that allows you to have the, mental toughness, the working through the adversity and the struggle to still respond in these moments because I think it means a lot moving forward. I think it means a lot about what the makeup of our team is, and I'm of the belief that we've got that, Ben, and we'll go about this week accordingly to try to maximize the parts of our team we feel like give us the best chance to win, but at the same time, it's going to take everybody, coach and player, finding it within themselves to overcome the disappointment and kind of the struggle that last night was, to put together a good week of preparation and go play and try to have success and compete. That's what we're going to do.
Hey, Kevin, I know that focus is on the Detroit Lions, but there is the potential for Harrison Smith that this could be his last game as a Viking. I just wanted to ask about your experience over the last 2 years in coaching Harrison and what you've learned about him and where you've seen his biggest impact on the team.
Yeah, I think, Harrison Smith is one of my all-time favorite players I've had the chance to be around as a coach. I feel very fortunate to have been in the head coach position with a guy like Harrison that I can build a relationship with. Such experience, such an incredible presence within our locker room. He's got a great way about him at all times that makes people around him better. I think he's been huge, in the implementation of our defense this year with Flo and DJ and those guys on that side of the ball. I've been really, happy with the way Harrison has really attacked his role within the defense, but also, the value of him as a captain and a leader of our team. I just can't say enough about what he's meant to me, what he's meant to this organization, what he's meant to this organization long before I ever got here. And how fortunate I feel to have had a guy like him and a player like him on the roster that we came and inherited, because he's meant the absolute world to me, and I know he has to Vikings fans. I know the Twin Cities means so much to him, and just being able to put on that uniform each and every time he has throughout his career here and be such an impactful player and person in the community. You really can't, I could speak unlimited about what Harrison means to so much and so many people that I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping that this is not this is not the end for him, just because I selfishly want him around our team and around our defense and around our program, because I think he makes each and every part of what I just said better, and that's what really defines great players in this league, and he certainly is one and has been one for a really long time.
Last question to Don.
I'm not hearing anything, John.
Don, you're still muted. One second.
Thank you.
There we go.
Do you have me now? Sorry.
All good,
Little
Don. I
sticky
got you now.
here. Kevin, I know hindsight is always 20/20, and I don't know if you do this to yourself, but if you could go back, would you not have put a rookie in that situation last night? And he spoke after the game about that situation, like you can learn from being tested by being thrown into the fire, which indeed he was. What are your thoughts personally on that?
Yeah, I think what went into the decision was a very comprehensive process of really taking a look at what had cost us some football games or chances to win some games throughout the stretch since losing Kirk, and knowing the confidence we had in Jaren at that point in the season when we gave him the opportunity to start versus Atlanta, and some of the things even we saw early on in that game that we thought, once healthy, once we could build on that with a couple weeks of preparation when he was really the backup, and still getting him some work, still getting him the extra time and the preparation that if called upon, that we felt comfortable giving Jaren an opportunity. It was a decision that I ultimately made and had confidence going into the game based upon what I saw from Jaren throughout the week and the preparation, and kind of where he was at going into it, that I did have confidence that Jaren would give us a chance to win and play well and hopefully get off to a good start, and then gain confidence like a lot of young players do from there. That just is not what happened, and I think once again that's not an end-all, be-all indictment on Jaren or anybody else. It's just a matter of it didn't go the way we wanted. I made the decision to play Jaren out of my confidence that I had in him, and I still have confidence in Jaren, moving forward and in his development. And I do believe he's got a lot of good football out in front of him that he's going to continue to work towards. And we didn't get it done last night. In a lot of areas, it wasn't just the quarterback position. I've already talked about, my role in that, and I know a lot of our players kind of feel the same way. A lot of our coaches do as well. So we've all got to be better moving forward.
Yeah, he had poise saying after the game that if he were in your shoes, he would have done the same thing. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, especially a rookie doesn't have that kind of clarity or wherewithal to even say that. That speaks volumes about maybe where his head is at already.
Yeah, I think so. And I think he, I think the one thing about it is the dialogue. That's why it's important that I can have that dialogue this week with our guys. I always try to, get them, make sure that they know the communication from me to them, the thought process that goes behind it, the expectations for each and every one of those guys in that room, the expectation for the coaches in that room. All of those things I just firmly believe is best handled with face-to-face communication, leaving nothing, leaving nothing for them to, think about, hey, what if, I think clarity is the most important thing. And that's for all of our quarterbacks. That's for, my relationship with Kirk throughout our 2 years when we've had Kirk out there and knowing that he's going to be a major force behind us winning football games. It's still that process throughout the week where, we have that communication and dialogue, and then our preparation kind of goes from there, the adjustments to the game plan, why we're doing certain things, how we can do things better so that when the ball gets kicked off, everybody feels like we've kind of left no stone unturned in that aspect. So I think that's probably what he was speaking to as far as, how he felt going into the game, where he felt in the moment, at the game. And then when we made the decision to put Nick in the game, his clarity on kind of the why and what that meant moving forward, which is it was a learning opportunity for him. And my expectation is we'll use that for Jaren Hall to be a better player moving forward because of it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.